Hey there, K2 teachers, welcome. In this explainer, we're going to tackle a big one, teaching our youngest students how to find and cite evidence. We're going to give you a really practical, classroom-ready plan to help turn your students into curious, confident researchers. Let's dive in.
So how do we get there? This standard isn't just another box to check. It's really the key to unlocking that natural curiosity every single kid comes to school with. We're going to show you exactly how to empower your students to help them move from that I don't know shoulder shrug to an excited, hey, let's find out. All right, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the why this is so important. Then we'll unpack the standard itself, jump into planning, and then I'll model a full lesson for you. We'll wrap up with differentiation and assessment, and then it's your turn to teach. So first up, the why. Why is teaching research in kindergarten so critical? Well, think about it. The moment a 5-year-old learns to ask, but how do you know that? They are taking their very first step toward becoming a critical thinker. We are literally building the foundation for them to become lifelong learners. Okay, let's be super clear about our goal here. We are not expecting 5-page research papers from our first graders, right? Of course not. What we are doing is building a crucial foundation. We're teaching them that information comes from somewhere, a source, and that we can use that source to back up what we think. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the standard. What exactly are we asking our students to do? And maybe more importantly, how will we know they've got it? What does success actually look like? So here's the official language. It's about building knowledge by asking questions, researching answers, using multiple sources, and then talking about what they learned. Now that can sound like a lot, but it really just boils down to those 4 key actions. Ask, research, use sources, and share. Those are our teaching pillars. You can really see here how the skills build on each other. So before this, students learned how to just ask questions. Now we're teaching them the next logical step, how to actually find the answers and say where they found them. It's the bridge that takes them from just being curious to being an active investigator. So what does mastery look like in your classroom? Here are your look-fors. Can a student literally point to the sentence in the book where they found the answer? Can they tell you if they learned it from a video or from a book? This isn't abstract. It's about concrete, observable actions. All right, let's shift into planning. We're going to use our evidence documents to build a really powerful lesson that hits every part of this standard. First things first, we have got to explicitly teach the 3 types of sources. Make it tangible. Hold up a nonfiction book and say, this is a print source. Play a little 2-minute video and say, this is a digital source. And maybe even tell a story from your own grandma and say, she was my personal source. Okay, big heads up here. A super common misconception our kids have is that if they heard it or saw it somewhere, it must be true. Our job is to gently guide them to start thinking about where information comes from. We have to teach them to check the source. All right, now for the really fun part. We're going to walk through a whole lesson sequence using that classic gradual release model, I do, we do, and you do. This is how you can bring the standard to life tomorrow. We're going to start by tapping into that amazing curiosity our students already have. A wonder wall is just perfect for this. Kids post their questions, and we can use them to drive our research. For our lesson today, let's use the question, how do birds build nests? So let's kick it off with the I do. I'm going to model my thinking right out loud for them. I'd say something like, I'm wondering how birds build their nests. I'm going to look in this book about birds. Ah, look here. On this page, it says birds use twigs and grass to build their nests. And I can see it in the picture too. So the book is my source, and this page is my evidence. And that right there, that's the think aloud. It is such a crucial teacher move. You're making your internal thinking visible, showing them exactly what you want them to do later on. Now it's time for the we do. We're going to try a new source together, a digital one. I'd say, okay team, let's watch this short video about birds. As we watch, I want you to look for the answer to our question. When you see it, let's all point to the screen together. Ready? This gets everyone actively looking for evidence. So what are we looking for from our kids here? Total engagement. We want to see every finger pointing at the screen, and we want to hear them all call out the answer together. It's a super fast and effective way to check for understanding. Now, this is going to happen. A student is going to raise their hand and say something like this. My grandpa told me birds use mud in their nests. And you know what? This is a fantastic, teachable moment. So here's our move. Notice we're not saying, no, you're wrong. we validate their contribution, and we give it the right academic label. We say, wow, that's a great connection you made from a personal source. And then we gently redirect. For our question right now, let's go back to our book source. What does the book tell us? See, we're reinforcing the source types and the task at hand. And finally, the you do. Now it's their turn to try it out. In small groups, they get a source, maybe a poster, another book, or an iPad with a short clip, and their research question. The directions are simple and clear. Find the answer, draw or write it down, and get ready to tell the class your answer and what type of source you used. This is where they put it all together. Of course, we all know our classrooms are full of diverse learners, so we need to think about how we can support everyone and how we'll know if they've truly got this skill down. Let's talk differentiation and assessment.
This super simple scoring guide is a lifesaver. You can use it as an exit ticket or just for observation. We're looking for two things. Did they state a fact from the source, and did they identify the source type? That's it. And this is so easy to differentiate. Some students might draw a picture of the twigs, while others might write a full sentence. You can also provide sentence starters like, I learned, or my source was A, for kids who need that extra scaffold. It's flexible enough for everyone.
So let's bring it all home. The key here is to be explicit. Directly teach the source types, model your own thinking out loud, and give your students plenty of structured practice finding and citing their evidence.
You know, this skill really is a cornerstone for all of their future learning. So the real question is, how will you take these strategies and empower your students this week? Let's make this the week we officially turn every last, I don't know, into a confident and curious, let's find out.